see something that's pretty special. It's a very unique approach. I think that one of the most abstract approaches in terms of what we do in the entrepreneur space, I think that Scott, definitely brings it to the table. So I just wanted to tee it up a little bit. Scott, tell them about you. If they haven't met you, where you come from, how long have you been in H7, a little bit about yourself, and then you can go into what you're going to present today. Okay.
All right. Well, we didn't really talk about what I should present today, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it. I've got a few things teed up here, so we can go for it. So I've been in H7. I'm not sure exactly what the start date was, but it was around March or April, I want to say. And I came in through Tech Corner, came in through Mark Barone, and right off the bat started kind of having him mentor me in the whole experience of being in H7. So I kind of have a little different path. I haven't done a whole lot of one-to-ones, but I right off the bat wanted to get into kind of a leadership and serving role, and get into a group. And I was planning on starting my own group around a concept I have called the CEO performance assessment, and I can show you that. But then David and I started talking, and he was like, "Hey, you could be on my alpha team." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that could work. That'd be a good step in the right direction." So that's sort of been my journey with H7. Today, David, help me out. Should I talk about kind of just a general concept of what, kind of philosophy of my brand, Awaken Life, my coaching style, all that?
Yeah. So just a little bit of just the backstory of how we kind of do things in A7. Well, in this room in particular, this is one of the rooms that is set up for interaction, right? So you come here to get the value, and you can walk away with something you can apply to your business this week, like tomorrow, right? After if Scott has enough time, I'm going to show you guys something. I got something really special. Is going to help you in like a click. It's AI. I know it's a lot of techie guys, but I find stuff and I share it. So if you heard of it before, but it will make your presentations like done in like 60 seconds. So I got it queued up. But at the end of the day, what I want you to just kind of cover is just that, the 30,000-foot view of what you do, how you came to do it, because you have a really unique story about the family. And so this is your spotlight to kind of do that. That's what we really set these things aside for, not necessarily, products and services, so they can get to know what your room is going to be about, where you're going to kind of drill in, so they know, what room to go into when they want to come back. So that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Well, my kind of flagship course, I put together several courses to kind of go along with my coaching process. And one thing that, philosophy that I kind of work with my clients on is called the alignment operating system. And it's about setting goals in alignment with your purpose. And so I can show you that in just a second here. But the way I discovered it was, I've been an entrepreneur since 2001. I got laid off from a corporate position. I got a severance package and started entrepreneurship, started a business, a financial services business, ran that for 7 years. And then I got into real estate investing. And then 0809 hit, and lost everything. So we had a complete financial devastation. And I as an entrepreneur, one of the first things I learned about was setting goals. We got to be good at setting goals, right? And achieving goals. So I learned the process. I got obsessed with Brian Tracy. Has anybody come across Brian Tracy's work as far as goal setting? It's great stuff. Later on, I've been influenced by Vern Harnish, Gazelle's strategic planning process, Gino Wickman's traction strategic planning process, and then further later on, really influenced by Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, and Darren Hardy, and those guys. But basically, when my first run as an entrepreneur, I had success that, that took off pretty quick because I really liked the science of goal setting, and and I was good at it. And so that got me, achievement. And then the economy shifted, and my goals that were set around achievement and material things ended up creating nothing for me. At the end of the day, I had this huge up and then this crash. And a lot of entrepreneurs have the story of 08, 09, especially if they're in real estate. The last economic crash. But for me, I was just, I was raised in a Christian home. I was raised with a philosophy of, be a good Christian boy, do the right thing, and uh, have good, morals and standards. Go to church on Sunday. Uh, During the week, though, my entrepreneurial circle, I didn't really know anybody from church that was an entrepreneur or business owner, so I didn't know how to reconcile my spiritual life and my business life. And so when I crashed, I kind of looked at God and I was mad at God. I was like, hey, I'm a good boy. Why did this happen to me? And so I kind of had this spiritual, what's that called? Uh, just like I was wrecked. So from '09 to 2012, I was in what I call wilderness experience, just kind of wandering, just like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm really good at setting goals and achieving goals, but I don't want to do that again if it just results in all this pain that I'm in of losing everything. So I needed a new way. And in 2012, I discovered the alignment operating system, and my brand's called Awakened Life because that was sort of my awakening. That was, when you have that moment where you're just like, it feels like the scales come off your eyes and you can finally see what you weren't able to see before. That to me is what awakened life is about. Some people call it being fully aware, being fully conscious, being in a state of flow, a flow state. But once you feel like you're fully in alignment with who you are, and then you set those goals to be um, in alignment with that, then you can have achievement with fulfillment. And that's been my obsession in the last 10, 11 years since 2012, is just like, kind of, how do you have success with fulfillment? And that question drives my coaching practice, all the content I create, and everything else. So David, about how much time do I have? Because I have a couple of things I'd love to share. Visuals.
Go for it. You got about 10 minutes or so. You got time to share, because I really want you to get into, I want you to get into the curriculum, right? I want them to see
All
this.
right.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, so this is kind of the concept of the alignment operating system. Let's see. Let me change the share here. I guess I got to share over on this screen. There we go. Basically, it takes the strategic planning process and puts this alignment piece on it. And basically, what it means. I mean, essentially, in a nutshell, this is my entire program. What I call Awaken Life Academy. The power journal there is, I actually have a workbook, a 13-week, high performance cadence, so that every quarter you're looking at milestones, actions, and habits in alignment with objectives. And then the quarterly planning process, which, by the way, good timing. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, please come to my strategic planning. We're going to be planning out quarter 4, and basically I put on a process where you get to plan your quarter 4. If you haven't done that already, come to that. But then, yeah, I'll do that. But that's about aligning everything to the bigger picture. So it kind of starts with this idea, right? So we as entrepreneurs, I mentioned, I learned how to set goals and achieve them, and goals is kind of in the middle of this process, right? So we know that we all know this, right? Our daily habits basically result in the achievement of our goals, right? If you set a goal and then you break it down, like let's say by the end of the year, I want to, achieve X, you can break that down into monthly and then weekly and then daily habits. And then, besides mindset, besides believing I can achieve that, it's just math, right? It's just like what number. If I've got a sales goal, if I've got a, increase the love and passion with my marriage, like all of that can be chunked down into like, okay, what's the daily habit I need to create? I need to be on top of to make that happen. So, what the alignment operating system is about is making sure that that is in alignment with your purpose and the who you are. You know, then that's the big question that a lot of people are asking in the world today. Who am I? I don't know. I remember early on in my coaching career, clients ask a lot of times, Scott, I don't know what to do. I've got this happening and this happening. There's this fork in the road. What should I do? And my answer is usually, okay, well, it's not necessarily about what to do. It's about who you are. Let's find out who you are, because who you are informs what you should do, right? If you look at the design of anything, it kind of tells you what it's meant to do, right? If we looked at a clock hanging on the wall, that's a beautiful, ornate piece of art, like a well-designed, beautiful, ornate clock on the wall that's hanging there as like a piece of art. We might call that art, right? But what do we know it's meant to do is based by its design features. So if it's got, indicators and it's got a couple of moving, longer hand and a shorter hand, no matter how abstract that design is, those design elements will tell us, oh, I can tell what that is. It's a clock. What's it supposed to do? It's supposed to tell time. So by its design, we can tell what its purpose is, right? So I answer the question, the human question of what's my purpose by looking at design. And design, is kind of, is clues to what your core values are, right? That's a major part of strategic planning. I've done that with teams in business. I've done that with individuals. Core values is a challenging question for a lot of people, a lot of businesses. But if you just look at, again, design, it becomes easier. So making sure that everything is alignment with core values, purpose, and then your mission becomes clear, right? If I know what my purpose is, I know what I'm supposed to do. Now I state a mission statement. And then from there, we get a 5-year, time frame of a big picture. So, it's kind of like the vision of your 5 years, right? A lot of times vision, you get mission, vision, purpose, and you're thinking like, for my life. I just want to vision a big picture for the next 5 years, because, with the technology and the speed of things and, AI, nobody was talking about AI just 1 year ago. Now everybody's talking about AI. And, so technology and life and circumstances change pretty quickly. Beyond 5 years, it's kind of hard to get a vision. So I like a 5-year big picture, and then your goals and objectives. And that kind of gets us to that 90-day frame. So your goals and objectives between now and the end of the year, that's a good chunk of time to look at goals and objectives. And then from there, you can chunk it down to monthly milestones, roughly monthly milestones, could be weekly, but essentially you break that down to weekly actions and then your daily habits. And again, and that kind of gives you the time frame of all that. So take a picture of that, take a screenshot, snap a picture of that, because that's essentially the concept that has steered my life for the last decade, that's kept me out of trouble as a goal-setting entrepreneur trying to do good in the world, but kind of having something off, to being able to achieve plus fulfillment, plus living out a calling, and just really having that full picture. So I'll stop there. I'd love to show the CEO performance chart, but let me stop there, and before I switch gears, how are we doing on that? Any questions, comments?
I think it's pretty clear.
Like that was, huh?
No, I said I think it was pretty clear. I know you have an assessment, right?
Yep.
And I would also say I attended a seminar of Scott's before, and it was highly, highly valuable. So I would recommend you guys going to to his seminar or webinar tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll grab the, before the meeting's over, I'll grab the link for that. You can easily
Yes,
jump
I
in.
highly recommend you guys going. I went before and was highly valuable to me.
Thanks. Hey, Daniel, how's it going?
Joseph.
It's been better. My whole morning was a mess, man. It was a mess. It was a mess.
No worries, man. Glad you can join in. Daniel is finishing. I mean, I'm sorry. Scott is finishing up his presentation. He's about to go. He was just stopping for questions, but yeah, that was pretty good. I think that you really hit some really good gems. I think that just from what I'm taking away is this, it's like habit stacking, right? You find something that you do, like you brush your teeth right every day, and you want to learn how to count in Spanish. So maybe you do that in your head while you're brushing your teeth, and you stack that habit to get that fulfillment. But I love the way that you are like just taking it a layer deeper to just saying, because on the shallow version of it all is right. We're in business to make money, right? And everyone is taking care of wants to take care of their families. But if you make enough money to buy a Ferrari, I'm sure you would probably want to if you become a billionaire, that does your why change, right? And I think this really helps you to stay focused on what your why is throughout your success. So, but yeah, go ahead and share your assessment, because this is something I was really interested in as well.
All right, cool. So I basically gave you a philosophy. Why is it not working? Let me try this again. So the alignment operating system is a philosophy, right? So you need practical. For whatever reason, this isn't working. Let me try it one more time. I'll just do it this way. There we go. Can you see this? There it is. Okay. The CEO performance assessment. So basically, this is a practical, like, next step you can do. Like, come to the strategic planning session tomorrow if you can, and I'll walk you through getting your plan set for the quarter. But this is a step you can do if you go to biz.awakenlife.com. I'll put that in the chat as well. It'll take you to a questionnaire that'll take you 30 minutes or less to fill out. And it's going to give you a chart, an assessment, a self-assessment on where you fit on this CEO performance assessment. And this is a tool I use with my clients and my mastermind groups. And we use this to track and measure as part of my quarterly process. But where are you on a CEO? So most of us in the business blueprint are, business owners, maybe starting up, maybe solo entrepreneur, and maybe we have aspirations, or maybe we're right on the cusp. And this is where I kind of focus, where my clients are is typically going from profitability to scalability, or sustainability and scalability, and looking to put that CEO hat on, and not just being a cog in the machine of their business, but looking to build a business that can run without them, so they can have some freedom from their business, right? So if you want that, you have to start thinking like a CEO. And so this is all the, what is it, 12 areas of performance that every CEO needs to be working on. So what it will do is the assessment will ask you 5 questions in each one of these areas and give you a score, kind of a 1 to 10 score. It'll plot a little chart across this. And so, if you're really high on sales, you'll have a dot out here. If you're really low on sales, it'll be on here. So, and it puts a radar chart on this. But yeah, you want to be thinking about all of these things: vision, product, service, marketing, sales, tech, financial, operations, customer service, team culture, leadership, and strategy. We just kind of went over strategy, right? But the cool thing about the assessment, especially as it applies to being in the business blueprint, is this is going to show you where your gaps are, right? I would expect most of us to be kind of low. Most of us aren't really operating at the CEO level. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for your scores to be kind of close to the center here, but it gives you a benchmark, and you can say, oh, I'm doing pretty good on leadership and strategy. I could work on the sales and the financial. And it will show you the gap more clearly. It gives you a visual, and visuals, pictures speak more words, right? Something like that. And then do it again. So it'll say, okay, let's say you see there your biggest gap is in financial or whatever. Then you start working with David, and you know, I got to work on my financial. You start working on Cheyenne, start working on the financial piece, and the next quarter do it again and see that thing move up. And then maybe there's a biggest gap is in one of the other areas. But it's kind of a nice little tracker. And, you know, you can go to that biz.awakenlife.com as often as you want and get this assessment. Definitely something we want to encourage all of our Business Blueprint members to use, so that, you know, we're kind of tracking and measuring along with each other as a team. So any questions on that?
I had a comment. I mean, I just wanted to say, you know, no, can you keep that up? Keep that visual up for me really quick, because I wanted to kind of talk on that. Yeah. One of the reasons, you know, just to kind of bring it full circle as to why, you know, there's a place here in the business growth blueprint, right? What we are growing is a community of business startup owners who need that information, that education that they otherwise wouldn't get unless they spent a ton of time or unless they spent a ton of money on. This is the place that you come to where you have no idea what AI stands for, right? I was just having a conversation with a potential partner that I'm looking to link with, and basically the idea is still the same. Like, people are talking about this AI thing, right? What Scott mentioned. But is there really the AI that you're after, or is it the automation? What is the problem that the AI solves? So as consultants and people who are, you know, pushing marketing, and, you know, this meeting will have a lot of people in different levels and different areas of their journey coming through this meeting. So the reason why you're in the room is not only to network with those people, because they're always going to need your services. So, you know, if the Necos and the, you know, Yusufs, and if you have those types of products that can help the small guys, right? Like, this is a place you want to get into, because someone in this room is going to need marketing for the first time. They're going to need a Google panel built for the first time. They're going to need to talk to Shannon to get a business plan made for the first time, right? They don't have an idea. And if we leave them out to the wolves of the internet, right, they're going to get got. We're trying to help. We're trying to save some marriages. We're trying to save some divorce rates, right? Because sometimes, you know, as entrepreneurs, we have one spouse or another that is kind of, you know, they get out there and they're like, yeah, it's been, you know, half our life savings on this great SaaS product, right? Like, then you're in trouble, right? So we try to help you avoid that. And things like this assessment can help. This is I call it the free 99 work, but essentially it's something that we're offering to you to say, okay, let's find the gaps, right? Do you really have so people come to me all the time. I do a lot of discoveries, right? And one of the things that people say, well, I think that I really need marketing, David. I just, you know, if I could just market my product better, it would just make more money. And I was like, okay, so you want me to get my team to start doing cold calls for you? Oh, no, you want me to just make you some flyers? You're going to go pass them out in the neighborhood, right? So and they're like, how? Oh, no, I'm talking about, okay, well, let's talk about it, right? Do you need social media marketing? Do you need, you know, what type? It's so many different types of marketing. So getting them to understand what they even are looking for. What are you actually saying that you want? That's what the business blueprint, this whole meeting is all about. So we wanted to bring that, and that's the reason why I wanted to spotlight Scott today. And then and just to give you guys some insight on some of the things he'll be hitting on, definitely get in the room with him. I hope you put all the links into the chat. Hey, Jen, how you doing? I see you down there just joining in. But we had a presenter spotlight because we had a couple of new members that are coming on, and we like to do spotlights for them. Daniel, are you still around? Let me see. Okay, Scott, if you could stop sharing for me. And then
I'm still here.
Okay, so right now we're looking at about we got about 20 minutes on the call, and I don't want to rush